Sunday night, HBCU football fans. And you know what that means. Another episode of Black College Experience, the HBCU podcast that goes above and beyond to bring you all of the action as we can across the HBCU landscape. I am Derek Thomas, one half of your Black College Experience team in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I have on with me the founder of Black College Experience, the one and only diva, Keisha J. Kelly, MBA. What's going on, Kels?
All right, getting some feedback from you for some reason. It's like a vibration. I don't know what it is, but okay, it's been some vibration there. But welcome to Black College Experience, another weekend of Black College sports. A recap of everything that happened this past weekend. It was some surprise upsets. It was some games that went on, some beat downs. But if you're rolling with us, tonight we have a special show. It's the Bayou Classic Edition. We have two great guests that are going to be joining us, and that's Nicholas Benjamin from Southern University, and then, of course, Bruce Eugene out of Gramblings State University. The phone number to call in is 719-373-6861, PIN number 49170. Derek and I both put this together to actually pull this off to get a Gremlin and Southern person on at the same time. So we hope if y'all have questions, y'all want to call in and talk about this. We're so excited because these two people have dedicated their time to come on to this show. So let's roll this thing
off. Before I get started, I have to thank Ashley Williams, the daughter of legendary Grambling head football coach and player Doug Williams, for helping me secure Bruce Eugene because I had put feelers out. I asked our good buddy Devontae Kincaid, but before he responded, Bruce Eugene committed. So Devontae, man, we're gonna have to get you on so we can catch up with you what you're doing, because I know you're study grinding, trying to get into either the NFL or the XFL and continue your pro football career. So we're gonna have to get you on to update what you're doing. But yeah, Kels, it's gonna be an awesome show. I'm just thankful that Ashley was able to connect with Mr. Eugene, and then he agreed to come on.
Okay, so I don't know. One of y'all phones is giving a lot of bad, like it's getting cut off or static, and it's going to mess up the recording. So I don't know. So who needs to go on mute or whatever, but it sounds really bad.
Well, I'm not hearing anything, but we do have a guest on. Well, not a guest, but a listener. The name is Rubit Tawana. Are you there? From Bamo, Texas?
Yeah, this is Mr. Hunter.
Okay.
This is Mr. Hunter calling in from that same name.
That's a Southern Jaguar Kills calling in to support his Jaguars. But we are going to need you to, I think you're driving, so we are going to need you to mute yourself in the background. Well, I can mute you so that we don't hear the
Muted.
Okay. All right. So we're waiting on our guests to call in, Bruce Eugene and Nicholas Benjamin. Kels, what you're hearing now?
Okay, that's what it was, because I don't anymore. So maybe it was his additional feedback from the background.
So,
but yeah, it sounds super clear now.
All right. So, Kels, until our guests call in, where you want to start off? Just talking about the games in the SWAC this week, or do we want to start in the MEAC? Where you want to start?
So let's hop right into this MEAC. Let's hop right into the MEAC. Let's talk about what happened in the MEAC, this dagger in the chest, this last minute with the Florida Classic. Let's get into some of this FAMU Bethune-Cookman, because it's 9 games straight that Bethune-Cookman has beaten FAMU. They own them at this point, so it's 9 straight games that they have beaten them. We know that anything can happen, but let's get into this MEAC game. Let's talk about some of this Florida Classic game.
All right. So, let's bring this up. So, like you said, it is 9 games straight that Bethune-Cookman has beaten FAMU. And this was a very, very strong FAMU squad with dreams of being named, the unofficial Black College National Champion, since they could not play for the MEAC Championship and therefore could not be invited to the Celebration Bowl. These Rattlers were playing for pride, and they wanted to end that streak so badly. I saw an interview with Coach Simmons as he was really wanting to end that streak, but unfortunately, Bethune-Cookman was able to reign supreme. Kels, what do you think about this game? What's your opinion on just this 9th straight defeat at the hands of Bethune-Cookman for Florida A&M?
I watched Bethune-Cookman early on this season, and of course that started out with the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and they were playing Jackson State. So, they had talked about Bethune-Cookman being one of the teams on the radar to pay attention to in the MEAC, and of course FAMU came up and did what FAMU was going to do, which really was a head turner this year. And I don't really think most of us had FAMU on the radar. So with Bethune-Cookman ending it out like that for a classic, it's similar to a Bayou Classic, a Magic City Classic, the North Carolina A&T, NCCU. It's kind of like the same thing. Records go out the door at these moments, so it don't matter if you're, 11-1 or if you're 3-7 or whatever it might be. In this case, 9 times straight, and then they beat them at a last moment interception. So last minute pick, quarterback picked off, and that seals the deal. That ends the game. But you go out 31-27 to end your season. But nevertheless, like you said, unofficial, really great game, really great season for Willie Simmons and his FAMU Rattlers. So I'm going to be excited to see what they do next season.
All right. PP is drawing us back. PP, what do you think about the upset? Even though Bethune-Cookman is a strong team, but FAMU had been ranked number 1 across the HBCU landscape most of the season with their strong season. What do you think about that?
I guess like you said, I guess when you come about rivalry games, you can throw the records out the window. I hate that they didn't get into FCS playoffs, but they had a good season. Most people expected them to compete with A&T for the title, and
right.
For the most part they did until they ran into A&T. So.
Well, of course, by that time, we all knew that FAMU was not going to be able to compete for the MEAC championship. But it was a good run. It was good to see FAMU back. With me being, I guess you can say my knowledge of the MEAC is very, very young. I'm a SWAC baby, born and bred in the SWAC. I knew a lot about the MEAC, but I didn't pay attention to the teams as much until I started working with Keith with Black College Experience. And the MEAC is a very, very storied league, so I have to go study up to see just to make sure I understand the rivalries on that side of the HBCU landscape, because I understand the rivalries in the SWAC, but as far as I had to get educated on FAMU last week. A family rally educated me because I'm a SWAC baby, born and bred since I could walk and talk. So I had no context on just how the rivalries in the SWAC worked.
I don't know what's going on. He said he tried to call in, so I told him to call again.
Okay. What happened when he tried to call in?
He just said he tried to call in, so I just told him to try to call again. We'll see. So I don't have
Okay.
So maybe that's
there is Bruce Eugene. Mr. Eugene, you mind turning your music down?
How you doing?
We're doing all right. You mind turning your music down?
Hold on. Let me get the word quiet. Okay, about to cut off.
All right. We have Grambling legend Bruce Eugene on, and I'm guessing Mr. Benjamin is trying to call in, correct?
Correct.
All right. If he's still having problems, I guess you could tell him to call your cell phone, and you can just join him in as a group call. He should be to get in that way if he's having problems getting in through the conference line. But we have on with us Grambling State University legend Bruce Eugene. We're just waiting on him to get somewhere quiet so we can start this all right. And then I also wait for his counterpart, his Jaguar counterpart, Mr. Benjamin, before we let these old school Bayou Classic participants have at it, Kels.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
All right. So we're waiting on Mr. Benjamin to call in. We're just talking about the MEAC and the Bethune-Cookman's upset of FAMU. Mr. Eugene, what do you think? Did you see that game? But what do you think about FAMU falling to Bethune-Cookman?
I wouldn't call that an upset because that's almost like when you get into one of those classic games when you're playing your rival, it can go any kind of way. When I was at Grambling those years, unfortunately, we lost to those little cats from down the road. When we were, when we were 10-1, 11-1 with our ticket already on the championship game. We ended up falling to those guys. So, like I said, every game like that is just all about who wants it more. Records go out the window.
Yes, indeed. So we're just waiting on Mr. Benjamin to call in. We're going to continue. When Mr. Benjamin gets on, we're going to preview the Bayou Classic. That's the direction
go
you want
ahead.
to go
Yeah,
in?
go ahead. We don't have to wait. Like, he's getting ready to call in. I think the number, I sent him the wrong number. So go ahead. We don't have to wait on him. Go ahead.
All right. So,
just make sure they got the wrong numbers next Saturday. Okay.
well, I just saw him come in. There he is.
So
the clips are starting.
On this side, Nicholas Benjamin and I are riding together because we're both Southern. So, no, we can't make sure they got the wrong numbers, Bruce. We can't. No.
Well, Mr. Benjamin has arrived.
That may be the only way they get a win if we get the wrong numbers.
Yes, indeed. All right. So,
we'll see what this going to be.
For everybody who don't know, Bruce Eugene, let everyone know who you are and the years you played for Grambling and some of your exploits in the SWAC and in the Bayou Classic.
I played at Grambling from 2000 to 2005, played quarterback. While I was there, I won 4 national championships. I lost to those little cats up the road a few times. I only beat them once when I was playing quarterback. Aside from that, I have almost every passing record. I have every passing record at Grambling, and I think I'm second to Steve McNair in the conference passing yards, total yards. But I do have the record for most passing touchdowns in the career over Steve and Willie Totten with 140. So
wait. So you're ahead of Totten?
Yeah, I'm ahead of Totten.
We number 2 in something, so good. I'm happy. I'm a Delta Devil, so at least we ain't last.
Totten had the record for most passing touchdowns in the season with 55, and I beat him that year with 56. And then Totten, I think Totten or Steve had the record for most passing touchdowns with like 139, and I beat him with 140.
All right. So, Mr. Benjamin, go ahead and let our listeners know a little about yourself and your exploits on the football field in that blue and gold.
Well, I played at Southern from 2003 to 2007. Statistically, like I said, man, Bruce Eugene, we've always think that you was one of the SWAC greats. So I will give you that. When we were there, my first year was a very experienced classic. That 2003 classic, my red shirt year, that was a 44-41 battle. That went down to the wire. I watched Quincy Richard take that game over and do his thing while he was there. I came to Southern and played wide receiver while I was there. Like I said, we did capture SWAC and Black College in 2003. We did capture the SWAC West in 2004. We were defeated by Alabama State in that SWAC championship that year. And, 05, 06, we had a couple of stumbles, but we were back on track in 07 and we won the Classic that year as well.
Yes, indeed.
Southern has ingrained a lot in me at the Classic. I learned a lot from that. I remember being from Alabama. I didn't really hear too much about the Classic unless it was Magic City or Turkey Day or something like that. However, Bayou Classic is the granddaddy of them all, and I'm grateful to have a experience in that and be able to play a part.
Now, Bruce, I did some research on you. Saw your nickname was the Round Mound of Touchdown. I mean, did you like that nickname? Because I know Charles Barkley was the Round Mound of Rebound. You know, and there were questions whether or not he liked the nickname or not. I mean, did you accept the round mound of touchdown nickname wholeheartedly?
Yeah, it was. It was funny to me. I used to laugh at it. And everywhere I went, people called me that and everything else. So for me, it was something that came, I guess, with the success and everything else. That's how people looked at me. But it was funny to me, though.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm gonna let Kels lead this show. She's a Jaguar, so definitely the Bayou
Unfortunately.
Classic. She is the CEO and founder of Black College Experience and had this wonderful idea to have a former Southern University player on and a Grambling State University player on. So, Kels, take it away.
You see how unfortunate us Jaguars keep being successful. You see how unfortunate that is, y'all. That's so unfortunate, Nicholas. So, we'll start here. Always. So, I don't know. I'm getting feedback from somebody's phone, like the background.
I think Bruce is at a game. I think he's at a game or an event. So,
okay.
We may just have to deal with that for this. But hey, you know what? Y'all should be used to noise and crowd backgrounds with the crowd at the Bayou Classic. Y'all should be used to it.
I know I am.
But right now we ain't at Bayou Classic though. We ain't talking about you. Talking about right now on this radio.
Let's go. I got you now.
We are. Okay, so what we're gonna start here. I know because Derek went to at the time you were at Grambling. You said 2000 to 2005. I was at Southern 99 to 03. So like I said, that was my era. I remember the time. I remember the nail biting time that he talks about. I remember those games when it came down to the wire of playing. Take us back to some of those moments, not necessarily even just Bayou Classic, but those times of playing at Grambling, what that atmosphere was like building up to Bayou Classic, building up to football season.
It was at Grambling. It was crazy. Football is football rules and all. And getting ready for the season, it's crazy to see the alumni and everybody that comes out. Whether you go into the classic games like the State Fair Classic, and at Grambling we rarely played home games. We played probably 3 home games a year. Because we were always on the road, always playing in classic neutral site games. So for me, it was great. The games of Southern just made it even better because, it was a Bayou Classic. That 44-41 shootout, man, let me tell you something. I'll go back and play that game again because that's how much fun it was. To watch, to watch Quincy go to work over there. It was magical, man. To hear, and the worst thing in the world I hate to hear when I'm dealing with Southern Jaguars is when Southern bands start playing that the defense, defense. Oh my God, I used to hate that sound because it felt like the field was shaking. It felt like, oh my God, it was crazy. But man, I miss it, man. I miss it every time we come around this time. If you play in the Bayou Classic, you start to get goosebumps and everything else because you know what it means and you know how it feels to be in that thing.
That's true.
Now, so I know this is so funny that you mentioned Quincy because this actually last year I went to the coaches' luncheon and that was the first time I saw Quincy since I've been out of Southern in 03. I have not saw him since then. So you talking about what, 10, 15, like a 15-year time span. I ain't saw him since I left. So same thing with you, Nicholas. Describe that feeling playing at Southern the season, building up to Bayou Classic, especially the first Bayou Classic. Because you and I both are from Alabama, so we're the same thing. We're like, okay, Magic City Classic is what we knew. But going and knowing about another classic, describe that feeling for you.
Man, it was an amazing feeling. Like I said, leading up to the season, getting ready for the season, getting started, we all knew that, it was on us to have a great season. Baton Rouge is really deep when you talk about football tradition. So we definitely try to make sure that everything is ready to go. The coaches are getting us ready. We prepare through the summer, through the spring, just trying to is right for the season. And that build up, like I said, a game against Grambling, if you look at the total, the stats from all of them, since we started this, Southern's up 35-33. In the Bayou Classic, Grambling is up 23-22. So if you look at those games, man, it's always a good game. It's always good talent in those games. It's always, it's been nationally televised for a while. So that's our chance to really display to the world what we have. In any facet of the game, offense, defense, special teams. all that comes together for the Bayou Classic. So when you talk about the atmosphere at Southern, it was one like no other. At Southern, we don't even have a visitor side. We got the young folks side, the old folks side, and wherever you fit in, that's where you fit in. We usually put the visitors over in the little corner. That's all you get. So it's always rocking. It always rocked in Mumford. And the Bayou Classic, it was just that much better. Like Bruce said, we played in a lot of neutral field games. We went to Soldier Field and played in Chicago Stadium. We played in Indianapolis. We went to Vegas and played out there in the Classic. So just that game against Bayou Classic in New Orleans with the hometown in the background, everybody on their feet. It's like I said, it's granddad. There's no feeling like that.
All right, Derek.
Well, I'm just looking at the history here, and like you said, Grambling leads 23-22, but starting in, I guess you could say 2008, Grambling won 4 straight, then Southern won 3 straight, then Grambling won 3 straight, and now Southern, with the exploits of the quarterback, Skelton, was able to get that Grambling Tiger off their back this year. So, Mr. Benjamin, what do you think about your Jaguars' chances this season? Because, of course, we all know the Bayou Classic the past couple of years has been more than just a rivalry game. It's been more than just a rivalry game, period. Now, most of the time, it decides to SWAC West. The winner of this game, normally wins the SWAC West and competes for the SWAC championship game. So, with their Jaguars finally ending Gramblings' 3-game winning streak, what do you think about your team's chances heading into the Thanksgiving Bayou Classic? Mr. Benjamin, you still there?
Yes. What was the first part of it?
I would just asking, what do you think about your Jaguars' chances of starting another winning streak? Because the Bayou Classic
I think we got great chances, man.
It's been years of streaks. Southern wins a couple straight, Grambling wins a couple straight. Can your Jaguars make it 2 straight? With Grambling beating Alcorn and then Southern losing to Alcorn, I guess I know those types of scenarios waver. You can't say, well, since Grambling beat Alcorn, right, Southern can't beat Alcorn. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, you can go on that, man, but every Saturday you got to play the ball game. I think Southern has a great chance of going and taking the Bayou Classic this year and going on the SWAC. I think we get the rematch against Alcorn and try to get to the Celebration Bowl. I mean, that's the goal. I think, like you said, the last couple of years have been trends. Grambling will win a few, Southern will win a few.
All right.
Grambling will win a few. But now I think we're starting that trend to where we can go ahead and get a little win streak going. I think we got a great chance to do that on this coming Bayou Classic.
All right, Bruce. Now, your Grambling Tigers are normally picked 1 and 2 in the SWAC West. Kales Kirkman from Grambling was picked 3rd in the SWAC West preseason this year, correct?
Grambling what?
Grambling was picked 3rd in the SWAC West this year, correct?
Correct. Southern was 1, Prairie View was 2nd, and Grambling came in 3rd. Correct.
So Grambling has grinded it out this season. Grambling started, I think, 0-4. And was in danger of going 0-5. So, Bruce, what do you think about your Grambling State Tigers able to bounce back to put themselves in a position to play for a SWAC championship?
Well, they're a young team. They're a young team, so they got out to a slow start. Hick Bottom and company, but the defense picked it up. They playing well. We got some ball hogs back there in the secondary that anytime it goes up, we coming down with it. Our defensive line is now starting to play to their potential. And like I say, Hickbottom as quarterback, he's found his stride. So there's no doubt in my mind he's going to carve up Southern secondary next week.
All right. Kels?
I think, and he brings a great point. I think what happened was, like you said, they started out with it at 0-4, and it was dangerous going 0-5. So what happened was Grambling hit their stride at the right time. as we can see. So if you look at the records now, they're almost a mirror of Southern. You know, they hit their strides at the right time. And so that's why we're here at Bayou Classic trying to figure out who's going to SWAC championship. That's why we're at this same point. So, again, you know, Jennifer from A&M made this point a couple of weeks ago. A broken Grambling is a dangerous Grambling. It does not matter if Grambling was 2-9. They're still out there playing the same football, still trying to get back in. And we see exactly where they were. They got back to where they needed to get to this point. On the flip side, you have Southern that's coming off again with Skelton that had a remarkable game last week against Jackson State. So, you know, week after week after week, you really don't know what you're going to get out of these teams. It's just depending on what team shows up. I'm biased this weekend. I'm just hoping that Southern University is the team that shows up. I'm biased. I don't care. I'm hoping. Nicholas is hoping. Bruce Eugene is hoping on the other side. Derek, we don't know what you hoping, but we know we got two Jaguars on the telephone.
Derek just hoping Valley finds some type of hope of prayer.
You know what? I got my line brother on the phone with me. I'm not just surrounded by Jaguars like I'm normally surrounded by Jaguars. Yeah, you know what? Y'all better hope we don't find some kind of way to start competing in the SWAC. Because when y'all remember how it was when y'all used to beat up on Prairie View? Y'all remember that, right? You remember that, right? And when Prairie View started winning,
I remember that.
Yeah. So, you know, y'all better watch out. Hopefully I don't win the Powerball or the Mega Millions so I can give Valley all the scholarships they need. And then y'all going to be in trouble over there in the SWAC West. But first off, we're going to be gunning for Alcorn and Jackson State in the SWAC East. That's who we're going to be gunning for if I'm able to win the Powerball. Yeah. If my LB wins the Powerball or the Mississippi lottery, we now have the lottery in Mississippi. He can go play it, wins the Powerball up there in the Delta, and donates to Friends of MVSU football to fully fund Valley's football program and get that scoreboard you've been wanting, PP. Yeah, I know. Then...
Hey, we understand, man. You got to crawl before you walk. You got to crawl before you walk.
Wait. First of all, Benjamin, they got to find a classic first because Valley don't even play in the classic or nothing. They just play.
Right.
You know what? We ain't finna talk about pile on Valley because Mr. Benjamin Kales, you already know what I'm finna do. Y'all better be thankful we helped y'all get rid of Stump. Because if y'all wouldn't have lost us, y'all probably would still be stuck with Stump and would still be losing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no dog in the fight. I don't. The closest we came to beating y'all was last year in the hole. But if we could have held on, all ground fans, you'd have probably passed our way up there in New York, Bruce, if we'd have held on for that victory last year in the hole. You'd have been like, Grambling lost to Valley. Yeah. You'd have put a Fred Sanford all the way up in New York. So, you know, hey.
Let me tell you something. When I was seeing the score line of that, because I always follow on ESPN, I see the score line of that, I was like, y'all, they better not. They better not lose them.
And then we got shut out by y'all this year. You know, just been a season of hope kind of out the window for our W. We had Jackson State beat, which would have been glorious. You know what I'm saying, to beat them Tigers again. But unfortunately, we could not pinch the Gramblings State Tigers. And we haven't played Southern in a while. So, you know, if we do play y'all again, I'm probably going to go into hiding, you know, unless we happen to pull an upset again. And I don't want to call it Stunt Bowl Part 2, call it, you know, or something. But, hey, the Bayou Classic, here's the thing. Like I said, we don't have a class to go to. I started going to the Bayou Classic after working with Kels, since I'm down here in Baton Rouge. And when I can tell you the environment, the ambiance, the overall HBCU culture that you experience by just being an HBCU graduate. You don't have to be a graduate of Southern or Grambling to enjoy the Bayou Classic, because this classic represents us all. Like you said, it's the granddaddy of them all. You know, everyone knows the legend of Coach Robinson. So, you know, and then, of course, the legend of Coach Mumford. And now your current coaches, legends, Doug Williams, legend at Grambling, Coach Richardson, legend at Southern, and now Coach Fobbs, and now Coach Odoms, starting their respective legends at Southern and Grambling, respectively. What I want to talk about is, let's get some noise talk behind y'all.
But before we do that, we got to take a commercial break right here. We have to take a commercial break.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Black College Experience in 31 seconds.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, we're back with more Black College Experience. And, of course, we have Bruce Eugene, Nicholas Benjamin, my line brother, Patrick Perry, and the founder and CEO of Black College Experience, Keisha Kelly. And we've been talking about Southern and Grambling. Let's talk about who you guys are going to be playing, depending on which one of you wins. Waiting for the winner of the Bayou Classic will be the six-time SWAC East champ.
Okay, we got it. We know how many times they won. We got it. We know how many times they won. You ain't got to say it that many times. We know.
Hey, Keisha, guess what? It's going to be 10 times because who's in the East? Oh, let me guess. Valley, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Jackson State. Who else is over there? Nobody.
Speaking of Jackson
State. 7, 8, 9, 10 times.
Speaking of Jackson State.
Like, who said it last week? I think that was Terry from Alcorn. If Alabama A&M can get a defense, they will be fine. They just need a defense, man. They trying. They trying. I done gave up hope on Jackson. I be trying for Jackson State. I can't. Valley start off one thing and they do something else. I can't. I just done gave up, man.
Well, speaking of Alcorn State and Jackson State, we did have the Soul Bowl this past weekend, which,
right,
to me, that was my Bayou Classic growing up. That's the game I went to growing up. And there was a little more to come back in Jackson this weekend as, Alcorn State, straight demolished Jackson State 41-6. Guys, what do y'all think about Alcorn State just taking the soul of Jackson State in the Soul Bowl?
No disrespect. When was the last time Jackson did it? I think Robert Kent was there.
Right. Jackson State ain't really talking about nothing right now.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's nothing to get excited about. I think, you know what I'm saying? Even the year I was at Alcorn, Jackson, Jackson beat us down because I think we sucked that year. So to see now.
You were at Alcorn?
Yeah, I was at Alcorn when Melvin Smith was there for that year.
Oh, coaching.
Yeah, I was there coaching. So
okay.
Like I said, I think that was the last time when Jackson was decent. You know what I'm saying? Before then there was Robert Kent and I having the shootouts and everything with Torrey Ross and company. So like I said, Jackson hadn't really been good.
Well, Rick Comedy was fired a year after going to the SWAC championship game. So that was the last time Jackson State was, I guess you could say, a decent threat to win the SWAC East. Wow. Yeah. That's how it's going to be at Bayou Classic, Crazy fans going wild.
Sorry, I'm out here. I got a lot of kids I train in the championship game today, so that's why I'm out.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You're doing your thing. You're training the next SWAC legend out there, or the next HBCU legend out there. So why don't you send one of them awesome quarterback prospects to Valley? Yeah.
I'm trying to. You know what's crazy? I've been trying to get people from our conference to come up here to New York to recruit our kids for the moment. You know what I'm saying? New York is an untapped area, and I'm telling you, it's crazy talent here, and a lot of a lot of the kids up here, they play football for a different reason. You know, I'm at a school like Christ the King right now, and these kids got exceptional grades and test scores and everything else. But the problem with our conference is they just stay down south. They don't like to broaden their horizons, which entails, you know, allows the MEAC to almost be listed as a better conference than us.
Yes, indeed. All right, Kels.
Okay, so let's kind of go back. So right at that point, I'll start with you, Nicholas. At that point, let's kind of fast forward into what you guys are doing today, because I do know, of course, I know that you're an engineer. I know you're making all these moves in Huntsville. I know you're part owner of this. You've done so. Tell us some of the things that you're doing now. Fast forward to life after Southern University. Tell us what you're doing now.
I mean, right now, and I have to go back, you know, before I fast forward and just say that Southern has really molded a lot of the things I have going on now. The fact that I am at NASA working now since graduation was because a Southern University alumni that works for NASA that's from Alabama came and talked to me and talked me into coming and working for this great organization. So, you know, Southern ended up molding a lot of things. But what I've been doing is right now I'm working as a payload operations director for NASA. And what we do, we direct the rooms as a flight director for the International Space Station. On the side of that, like you said, I'm a part owner of the Huntsville Rockets, which is a semi-pro football team in Huntsville. We got a lot of local guys, a lot of guys from A&M. We got a couple guys from A&T, Miles, Bama State. We got some guys that have had some short league stints. And what we're trying to do with that is just to get the city around us and allow the city to have something else to do. We all know Huntsville is growing at a very fast rate. And we want to give these guys another opportunity to be seen on the football field, whether you just want to keep playing, whether you want to get a shot to go somewhere else. We're just trying to bring that experience to Huntsville and give these guys another opportunity as well. I actually played for this team for a little while right after college, and we was able to take on a national champion. We went 15-0 that year, been able to put on the main stage, and we've only been able to grow from there. So aside of that, like I said, with football always be a part of me. I always we talk to Noahs all the time about the Magic City Classic versus the Bayou Classic, and I keep telling them it's no comparison. If you hadn't gone, you need to go at least one time before. You need to put that on your bucket list. So I get a kick out of talking to those guys, especially just from a different perspective. It's kind of crazy because my older brother went to Bama State. My younger brother went to A&M, both being on the SWAC East. You know, they always respect the blue and gold at Southern, you know, because they know it's nothing like the SWAC West and the competition that we have going on over there, especially between us and Gramblings. But yeah, that's about it, man. Like I said, we trying to just make some moves, get these guys different opportunities, trying to, you know, mold them to be better men in society as well as on the football field, and just trying to make some major moves. Like you said, it's all on with the learning and the stuff that we got from these HBCUs, and I think that light is kind of dimmed a bit, you know, when we talk about the lessons that we learned coming from Southern, coming from Grambling, coming from State, A&M. You know, those lessons somewhere, I mean, you can't get that nowhere else. But like Bruce was saying, you know, even when I was at Southern, the large percentage of our team was from the South. But you got the MEAC that goes all the way up the East Coast, and they pulling these talented guys from everywhere. I mean, we see the change that's been happening with North Carolina A&T. So hopefully that we can do that in the SWAC and try to get some going on, you know, with my team as well.
You know what's crazy, Benjamin? You say that, right? I got two players from that I coach that's on A&T team. I had a kid at Norfolk. I got kids at Delaware State. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, we got to do better in our conference. We got to expand and make it. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it worldwide. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We act pulling people like A&T is going out beating Division I schools. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Beating big time Division I schools twice. You know what I'm saying? And you got other ones. You had the Howard the kid Kaylin Newton and things like that. Like, you getting these caliber of players and everything else. We got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get it done, man. We got to go out and make our conference better. You know what I'm saying? As people that play in SWAC conference, you know what I'm saying? We want our conference to be number one. I don't like hearing the MEAC is better than the SWAC and things like that. They do anything. You know, and I'm in MEAC country, but I'm going to represent the SWAC until I die. That's right.
Now, I do want to bring up a stat, though. I do want to bring up a stat. We all know that Southern University is the only school that hadn't lost a SWAC MEAC challenge.
Oh boy.
Well, we all know that the Swag BX Challenge was started because of myself and the rest of my Grambling guys talking crazy to Hampton when we was co-national champions. Ain't nothing cold around here. We was better than them. We'd have smoked them too.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna have to throw this
if you want Swag to win, put Southern in.
Well, I'm gonna put this
If you want the Swag to win, put Southern in.
Because I don't have a real dog in this fight, but I'm gonna be messy. But there's only one team in the Swag West that's been to the Celebration Bowl.
That's true.
So
that's to be determined, and that's to be determined because right now
that is the Grambling State University.
Grambling has been that's true, and that's to be determined because Bayou Classic hasn't been played. SWAC Championship has not been played, so that's to be determined. But what we all know is that Valley has not been.
Boom,
that's what we do.
Boom,
we know that. Valley ain't going no time soon. That's
Real
what
quick.
we do know.
I just hit a stir the pot.
That's that we.
How old is the Celebration Bowl?
We're going 4 years. We're going 4 years, 5 years.
Oh, okay. I was just wanting somebody to point that out.
I think y'all can throw all your little salt on Valley all y'all want. It's basketball season. We can compete in basketball season. So y'all better get ready. We got to lead some
seriously. But seriously, here, to the two things before I go to Bruce, the two things to Nicholas. One thing I do, I have a twin sister that graduated from Alabama A&M, so I understand wholeheartedly. I tell people, Alabama A&M raised me, Southern University made me, and it's a true story because I grew up on the hill of Alabama A&M. I'm an 80s baby, literally Magic City Classics when you were in furs and all that good stuff. I'm sure your parents can tell you about that. I came up in that era, literally. And then on the flip side, I want in with this hustle watching. I got $5. I want to be part owner too. I got $5 on the team, so I want to come in. I got $5 on the team.
Hey, we are open to any invitations. I know, with the work you've done with Black College Experience and what we're trying to accomplish with the Rockets, I know it'd be a great partnership. We can talk about that.
Y'all heard that now. I probably get to own a helmet for $5. Y'all hear? Well, I probably have $50 for a helmet. I probably get a helmet for $50.
I want to go back to the future, back to when you guys played. After the SWAC championship game, there was no Celebration Bowl. I mean, what do you guys think could have been back then? Like the SWAC versus the MEAC champ, Bruce, when Grambling was dominant in your years. And then the SWAC versus the MEAC champ, Mr. Benjamin.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I would have loved to play the MEAC more often than we did that one time a year.
I agree.
Because when I was at Grambling, my first year at Grambling when we was with Scotty, when we had Scotty Anderson, we beat then number one FAMU in the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis. I think we beat them 10-9, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the more chances we get at that conference-wise, I feel like 1 week a year, our whole conference should play against a team in their conference. Instead of that one game before the season.
Mr. Benjamin, what do you think?
I agree.
The years your team won the SWAG championship, I mean, playing against a top team in the MEAC, I mean, how important do you think it would have been if this idea could have been put into play? Because I'm pretty sure it was on people's minds back then, because to crown a Black College national champion, when you have the SWAC champ on one side, the MEAC champ on one side, and those teams have yet to have settled it on the field. And then some people want to involve the top Division II squads.
Even when we played, the game was the first game of the year.
Kels?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Okay, so that was. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say,
when you look at the years that we played, the game was the first game of the season. Now I think they got a good system where it's the last game of the season, They can get both champions from each side. It's just not a team that they think is going to be good and have something to play for. But the 2 years that we played against the MEAC school to start the season, we played FAMU 1 year, beat them in Birmingham, and then we played Bethune-Cookman 1 year, and we beat them as well. But that was so during the season, at the beginning of the season, when we really didn't know what each team had. Now with the Celebration Bowl, you know that these are the best two teams from each conference, and now they go head-to-head to sell it on the field. I mean, even in 03 when we was the Black College National Champions, we really didn't get to settle that with another team that was outside of the conference. There was no set-up championship to where we could settle it. Now with the Celebration Bowl, I mean, back in those years, that would have been great. It would have been awesome because we would have bragging rights around the whole country, not just the conference.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm looking up now to see who was the MEAC champ in 2003 because, let's see, the MEAC champ in 2003 was the number 16 ranked North Carolina A&T Aggies. I mean, to see Southern and North Carolina A&T squad, battle it out. I mean, because hey, you guys were the Black College National Champions. A&T was 10-2, and they were ranked number 16, also in that year's standings. But then Cookman was number 15. So, do you remember what y'all's final rankings were in FCS?
I'm not sure in 2003.
Try to find that out.
I know that the record that we had was 12-1, and that one game that we had, it was a last-minute touchdown that took us out of that game. But everything else, I mean, other than the Bayou Classic, it was a pretty washout drag-out from Southern University. So you still got to come play the ball game, and we'll never know hindsight 2020. But I would have loved to see us get a chance to at least play them.
Okay. I just found that you guys were ranked number 13 with a 12-1 overall record. Grambling was ranked number 17 with a 9-3 overall record. So I mean, you have to look at it. I mean, that's back when the SWAC and MEAC were given the respect. Well, no, they earned it on the field. Like now, I mean, of course, we didn't really do well in the FCS playoffs, but when we played against our FCS brethren, we were a threat to beat you. Now, not so much, or it's only maybe one or two teams that could beat you. But back then, you had Southern and Grambling that could beat you. You had Alabama State and Alcorn that could compete. Even Alabama A&M in 03, because when you look at that record, the SWAC West, you had Grambling and Southern. Southern number 1, Grambling number 2. Then the SWAC East, Alabama State was 8-5, Alcorn was 7-5, and Alabama A&M was 8-4. So that means out of conference, Alabama A&M, I'll have to go look and see who they beat, but they won 4 out of conference games. So I'm wondering who they beat. I mean, from me then to now, I didn't pay attention to who played who the most back then. Now I'm so curious because working with Kels and trying to examine, what team is actually better. I mean, I like seeing things settled on the football field. And the way we have it now with the SWAC and the MEAC, we can now settle things on the football field. What do you guys think about just having that opportunity to just settle it between the hash marks, between that 110 yards, including the goal line, 120 yards, including the goal lines, helmets, pads, cleats, just settling on the field. Bruce?
What happened was what you think again?
I was saying just about just being able to settle it on the field. Instead.
I'm always for that.
Mr.
I'm always for that. Even playing the Tennessee States and people like that. I felt like Southern, Grambling, and a few others had teams that can go into the FCS playoffs and win.
Okay. Mr. Benjamin?
I mean, if you look at the way college football goes now, way back in the gap, they didn't have a national championship. They didn't have a playoff. They just named a champion, and we see how that went. Now they had a BCS poll to where they were picked, and at the end of the day, you settled it on the field. Now they got the playoff where they send the 4 teams. They settled it on the field. That's the only way you can really get down and tell who's who by selling on the field. I mean, you can say one thing all day until you get out there between those 110 yards, like you said, and scrap them on and let's go.
All right. And and of course, looking at these 03 standings, yeah, we were still at the bottom where we were this year, so no change in our stance, you know. So, but guys, we want to thank you guys. Yeah, we want to thank you guys for joining us. You know, two swag legends who have done well for themselves after leaving their respective alma maters. Before we let you guys go, Kels, you want to ask them any parting thoughts?
Yeah, I did, because I didn't fully get to ask Bruce Eugene what he was doing at this moment. I know you said coaching, but I didn't get the full where you were at the moment.
Nah, right now I'm in New York working at Christ King High School. If you know about anything about basketball powerhouses, Christ King is where Lamar Odom, Riley Hawkins, and all of those Sue Bird, Shamika Holstar, like that. They've been a basketball powerhouse for years. So that's where I'm at now. You know, that's where I'm at now. Working football.
I want in. I can come coach a little bit. I want in on your side too. I don't want you to feel like I discriminate. I want in on that too.
Come on.
I'm gonna cover that coach.
Come on. Currently now I'm getting ready for. I do a traveling 7-on-7 team called the New York Hustle.
Okay.
I have a 12 U team, 13 U team, 15 U, and 18 U team. I travel all over the U.S. doing 7-on-7 tournaments and things like that, just to get kids in this New York area exposure. Like I said, it's a lot of talent up here that a lot of people don't know about. There's a lot of untapped areas. And, you know, if our people in our conference would get out of their own way and make their way up here, they would see it's a lot of talent to work with.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Nick?
And by the way, go Tigers.
Well, we don't have to ask y'all who y'all picking, you know, in this game. I'm pretty sure we know who Bruce Eugene is going to roll with and who who Nick Benjamin is going to roll with, you know. And I definitely know who Kels is going to roll with in this game.
Unfortunately.
You know, so let's let the two people on this call, you know, the other two people who don't have a dog in this fight, pick our winners. LB, who are you picking to win the 2019 Bayou Classic?
Southern.
So you picking Southern?
That's my boy.
You picking Southern?
Great pick,
Ladarius Skelton, and Southern has the offense that can score, but Grambling has the defense that shut down Alcorn. I am rolling with the Grambling State Tigers. Sorry, Kel.
Man, you're a smart man.
I'm rolling
You
with the
are a
Tigers.
smart man.
We
You are a smart man.
We knew that Patrick Terry was the smarter of the two. Thank you, Patrick, for making a smart decision.
We gonna see
look,
who wins when the pick'em results come out. Now,
But look, he picked from a defensive standpoint. Bruce, you and I are both offensive guys, and we know defense is a staple of a good championship team. However, we both know that a good offense beats a great defense any day.
True.
I would have to somewhat agree to that, but you know. But we want to thank you guys for calling in. We definitely gonna have to get y'all back on, you know, individually, so we can just really key on what you guys have going on. We want to thank you for joining for our first ever Bayou Classic preview show, where we had one Jaguar and one Tiger going back and forth. Kels, you have anything else for our guests?
Yeah, we do. We appreciate you guys both for coming on. Thank you so much. Like I said earlier this week, earlier last week, I was saying, I wonder where Bruce Eugene, like literally had not. I was like, after I left Southern, I always wondered where you were. And I would see it somewhere on social media, and then I wouldn't see it anymore. And I was like, I wonder what happened to Bruce Eugene. And like I said, I just saw Quincy last year, so I was like, okay, well, now it's like, okay, now I know what both pieces are now. Now I done finally talked to one and laid eyes on the other. But thank you both for joining us. Definitely really appreciate y'all for making this so funny, especially Bruce with his jokes about Valley. Thank you so much.
You know what?
We do apologize.
You know what? You better be thankful we beat y'all in the Stunt Bowl. Be thankful for getting y'all back to y'all winning ways.
We
Yeah.
do apologize.
It's Thanksgiving
that,
month.
that y'all pick Gramblings. It's okay.
All right, fellas. Thank y'all so much.
Hey, before we leave, man, we want to thank y'all for actually having us. Like I said, thank you for having us on the show and pushing, Black college football and Black college sports to another arena and a different forefront. We really appreciate y'all.
Oh, most definitely.
Definitely.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
good night.
Isn't it?
All right, Kels, that was awesome, man. I mean, even though y'all trying to make jokes on something that we've been made fun of since the beginning, since Jerry Rice left, I'm immune to any
Bruce started
jokes.
it. Bruce started it.
Yeah,
Okay,
he did.
I just need you to understand. Bruce started it. Bruce
He did.
started
He
it.
did.
Bruce started it. It was a great show though, because everybody had their own thing. But I had no idea he was in New York. He's far away. He's far away. He's far
Very
away.
far. But before we get out of here, we have some more housekeeping to do. I want to congratulate Alabama State Lady Hornets for defending their SWAC volleyball championship. They put out their in-state rivals, Alabama A&M, and then again, they defeated Prairie View for the title. So, even though Alabama State was not like in the top 1-2 seeds, they still reigned supreme. Also in the MEAC Women's Championship in volleyball will be tonight at 8 p.m. It will be between Howard and Morgan State. You can watch that on ESPNU and ESPN3. Also, congrats to Shaw. That is our former Black College Experience guest coach Go Reed's former team alma mater for winning the CIAA Women's Volleyball Championship. And Coach Go Reed and her Kentucky State Lady Thoroughbreds fell to Spring Hill in the SEAC Women's Volleyball Championship. So, last year, her first year at Kentucky State, chipping away. Now she gets to the championship against that defending champion Spring Hill, and Spring Hill swept them. But that's the thing, Coach Correa is getting them right. Also, congratulations to Xavier for winning the GCAC Women's Volleyball Championship over Dillard. And they also participated in the NAIA Volleyball Tournament, sweeping William Carey. So the Lady Gold Nuggets are doing their thing once again. So I saw something, my frat brother and Southern Jaguar, Robert Harrison, made a comment about women's sports. And I just had to make sure that I quipped on that status scales, because you do a good job of highlighting the sports that a lot of people do not talk about. You talk about women's volleyball. You talk about women's tennis. You talk about men's tennis, swimming, even wrestling at FAMU. The sports that a lot of people overlook, you take time to include. Like last week, we included Wilberforce in our coverage. That is the beauty of Black College Experience. That's the beauty of the wonderful, I guess you can say, idea you had to not only talk about the HBCUs that are known and that are in the spotlight, but talk about the HBCUs that aren't in the spotlight, the sports that are in the spotlight, and the sports that aren't in the spotlight. And you know me, Kels. I love my women's sports. Yes, I'm a women's basketball junkie, but I also support women's volleyball because my daughter is a volleyball player. So I want to make sure we gave kudos to our HBCU women's volleyball champions, and whomever wins it in the MEAC, congratulations to you. Either that's Howard or Morgan State. You have any other parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Okay, so before we go to a few things, first and foremost, congratulations to North Carolina A&T and Sam Washington and his North Carolina A&T Aggies that will make their third appearance to Celebration Bowl that has been secured. That was secured on yesterday after a blowout to North Carolina Central, 54-0. So that has been secured. Also, we are still taking coats at the Mustard Seed Barbecue. If you want to drop those coats off, you can still drop those coats off. You can also make donations, and that information will be posted. And then last but not least, here in Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta chapter of South Carolina State National Alumni Association is celebrating 50 years. On Saturday, December 7th, they are having a dinner and silent auction where the general seating start is at $85, and it's from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So you will want to go ahead and get those tickets. You can go there at SCSUATLBulldogs.org/50th-celebration. That phone number is 404-622-7278. So that information also is posted on those sites, and they are celebrating their 50 years. So you want to go ahead and get those tickets because it's going to be a nice celebration.
Awesome. Before we get out of here, congratulations. Well, unfortunately, Miles and Bowie State failed in the D2 playoffs. Lenore Ryan defeated Miles 36-7, and Carson Newman defeated Bowie State 17-9. So Bowie State ends the season 11-1. Their undefeated season comes to an end. But we still have more HBCU football to play. I know me and Kels are going to be in New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. And then I'm going to see if I can get into the SWAC Championship, since it's going to be on the campus of Alcorn State University. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be at the Celebration Bowl, repping Black College Experience as you do everywhere you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we are out of here. We want to thank, of course, our guests, Nicholas Benjamin and Bruce Eugene. We want to thank anyone who's listening and who will listen to this show. Please continue to listen and support Black College Experience, because this is your show. This is your show to call in and talk HBCU sports. That's what this show is about. And we are out of here. Peace out.
Good night.